Welcome to GovEd Talks, Advancing Through Sharing. Thank you for joining us for the Becoming Data Informed, Changing Organizational Culture One Dashboard at a Time session.
Hi, I'm Hazel Burnett. I am a strategic advisor with City of Seattle Parks and Recreation Department. I focus on organizational performance management and data. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and my ethnicity is a Korean American.
Hi, I'm Shandanika McElroy. I am also a strategic advisor for the City of Seattle Parks and Recreation Department. I focus on organizational performance and policy. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and my ethnicity is Black.
And we would like to share some of our lessons learned on this journey to become data informed and data driven. We'll also share a few examples of how we are using performance data, especially focused on equity, advancing equity, and share with you some takeaways. But before we get started, I would like to invite my thought partner to do the land recognition.
Thank you, Hazel. As Hazel said, we want to take a moment to provide land recognition. As we are sharing with you today from Seattle, Washington, we will have a land recognition that is focused on the area in which we're sharing from. I would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish people past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the Duwamish tribe. Thank you.
So before we get started, we would like to provide a quick overview of our organization so you can kind of understand the context for which we are working to advance this work. So Seattle Parks and Recreation is a part of the City of Seattle, which is a municipal government with a strong elected mayor and elected council members. And our department is funded largely by the city's general fund and a special tax created and dedicated to our park system called Seattle Park District. Our mission is to provide welcoming and safe opportunities to play, learn, contemplate, and build community, and promote responsible stewardship of the land. We promote healthy people, healthy environment, and strong communities. So those are three pillars of our organization. And then some of the numbers on the screen include our operating budget of $175 million this last year, as well as $87 million for our capital investments. We have roughly 940 full-time equivalent FTE. That translates to roughly 1,900 headcounts. Like many parks and recreation organizations around the country, we peak to roughly 23 headcounts in the summer, which is the peak of our business. We're led by a superintendent, and we work closely with a board of volunteer park commissioners. And we actually, as an organization, own and manage roughly 12% of the land mass in Seattle. And unlike many other large city park and recreation organizations, we are physically decentralized. So we are actually quite well known for our access to local neighborhood parks, as we have hundreds of pocket neighborhood parks that we manage and maintain. We also provide access to athletic fields, tennis courts, specialty gardens, and over 120 miles of walking / biking trails around Seattle. And of course, we have community centers, indoor and outdoor pools, as well as golf courses to our residents and visitors. And if you've had a pleasure to visit us, you might have visited Green Lake, which is located in the north part of the city, Discovery Park, which is on the Puget Sound, and then the picture to your right would be our Gasworks Park, where we do our 4th of July fireworks. And previously, we had also run and funded the aquarium as well as the zoo. However, those two entities have become independent nonprofits with receiving partial fundings from us. Next slide, please. So as we mentioned, we have been on this journey to become more data informed and data driven. So we provide a kind of a quick sketch of where we have been. So previously, like many organizations, we were data agnostic. And then slowly we became somewhat data interested, but largely indifferent. We knew that we have lots of data. However, it was kind of episodically and creatively used. And then starting with 2014, 2015, the department has made a concerted effort to train and educate all of us about using performance data, performance measures, how we can align our strategies to our performance measures. So big work was done there, and Shananika on the call actually was one of the key members of that team. And since then, we have had a team called Organizational Performance Management Team of data champions representing different lines of business in the organization. And I work with that team to gather monthly, quarterly, and annual performance data for us to review. And then in 2019, before the pandemic, Shananika and I actually did a pretty in-depth stakeholders engagement, working with over 200 of our coworkers to review and improve our key performance indicators and performance measures. And then just within the last few years, using technology, which Shananika will talk about later, we have begun to really, in a robust way, analyze, visualize, record, and track a lot of our performance data and employ them to day-to-day work that we do at the department. So, slide.
As Hazel referenced before, we aim to focus not only on efficiency and effectiveness, but also equity. We strive to ensure that all community members have the access and opportunity to the resources needed to receive the intended recreational benefit from our programs and our services. The image on the left of our slide offers a good illustration of what we mean by equity. You'll see the individuals in the top part of the image labeled equality all have been provided the same resource. However, only one member is able to receive the intended benefit. 2 of the 4 members have the opportunity to ride the bike, but will not receive its intended recreational benefits because the bike's not a good fit. In fact, because of the poor fit, riding the bike may lead to unintended harm. One of the individuals is not able to use the bike provided and left completely out of the recreational benefit. You'll see at the bottom of the image labeled equity, the individuals have all been provided the resource they need to receive the intended recreational benefits. Equity is really about ensuring everybody has the right resources to get that intended benefit. Focusing on sameness does not ensure everyone will benefit as intended. Our group really works to balance our focus across a high focus on equity, Pause. Our group aims for a balance of focus across high equity, effectiveness, and efficiency, as the image on the right illustrates. we find that if we don't have a balance between these three, we end up in a space where we are just surviving or making expensive mistakes. We really want to focus and ensure that we provide the right resources and we provide them in the right way to ensure greater access and greater opportunity to receive that recreational benefit.
So here we will share 3 key examples where we are focusing equity and data. So this is an example. So it is WIMBY, stands for Women Minority Owned Business Enterprise Utilization Program. So it's actually a city program where we are ensuring access to economic opportunities by women and minority-owned businesses when the city does purchasing, hires consultants, or goes out for a competitive contracting process for large construction projects and whatnot. So this is a snapshot of a Microsoft Power BI dashboard that we created using our accounting data, and to illustrate, how our contracting, consulting, and construction dollars are going and how they're being made accessible to our WIMBY companies and firms. So why does this matter? Well, one of our key value is to have strong community that's rooted in equity. So we want to make sure that our women and minority-owned businesses can do business with us. So this helps track where our dollars are going on a monthly, weekly, actually, I think this is a weekly report, weekly basis. And how this helps change our culture and our decision-making process is that this dashboard is accessible to staff. So then this makes it transparent and accessible so that they can track how we are doing as a department, as a line of business, or as a business unit. Next example, please. Our second example is our urban forestry management. So here's an example of a dashboard that we created using ArcView ISRI. So this is very GIS intense. We import a lot of the GIS marking data from our database, as well as we overlay our demographic data, our census data, our public health data, so that we can juxtapose where the work is happening along with people who are living and benefiting from our services in this particular neighborhood. So why does this matter? As I mentioned, we own and manage roughly 12% of the city's land mass, and we want to be a good steward of our environment, especially our forestry, our urban forest, and our open spaces. And so to track how much resource, how many hours we are dedicating to urban forestry management as well as restoration, we can keep track of not only the acres, the hours, but where those hours and resources are going, so that we again can focus not just on efficiency, effectiveness, but also equity. Next example, please.
We also wanted to provide an example of data-driven effort. The example that we're providing is our mobile recreation programs. Mobile recreation programming is a large menu of programs and service offerings that support healthy people, healthy environment, and strong communities. These offerings matter because we want to ensure that we're delivering equitable, effective, and efficient services. We also need to do our part in combating climate change and supporting environmental justice. Mobile recreation is using equity-focused data in order to design their programs and also ensure that they have programs that are responsive to community need. You'll see on the slide here an example of a program participant survey that is offered in Microsoft Forms. You'll see both on the left, the mobile version that participants can take from their mobile device, and also a version that folks can take from their computer. Mobile recreation makes program design decisions based on King County public health data by demographic. They use this information to inform, information to understand, Mobile recreation uses King County public health data by demographic to inform their program design decisions. They use this information to understand health disparities experienced by each demographic community that we serve. This understanding helps us identify communities not receiving the intended recreational benefit and work to better serve them. Our mobile recreation program also uses US Census data, highlighting where communities most in need live and play in order to inform resource distribution decisions. We track the success of those design and distribution decisions by collecting data directly from program participants using the Microsoft Office or Microsoft Forms tool you see displayed on the screen. This tool helps us to track demographics, We track the success of those design and distribution decisions by collecting data directly from program participants using the tool you see on the screen. Through this tool, we're able to track the demographic makeup of our participants, as well as learn about their experience in the program. This information is used by program providers to make course corrections during our programs and to perform design of future programs. Last but not least, we wanted to share our takeaways from our experience. Our first takeaway is to tap into existing technological resources that are available to you at low cost and low barrier to the folks who are going to use them. One example is the Microsoft Form tool that you saw on the last slide. Some other examples are Microsoft Excel add-ins and Microsoft Power BI reports that you saw in previous slides. Those are already free, available to us free because we are Microsoft Office users. So we found that those were low cost and low barrier for our purposes. We also learned that data collection and the use of data needs to be real and relevant to both the folks that are collecting it and expecting it to use it and just expecting, We also learned that you need to make data collection and the use of data real and relevant for all those who are involved. You need to ensure that the benefits of making data-informed decisions and collecting data is apparent to both your staff and to the community members that you are collecting information from. Our value proposition to our staff is that collecting and using data can make our work easier and help us make decisions that are better aligned with our organizational values. And for community members, we needed to ensure that they understood why we collect data, how we use that data, and how we work to protect their privacy. We also learned that there's a great need to model learning and public behaviors and encourage continuous improvement. One example of a way we do this is our monthly stats session, where we bring all of our stakeholders together internally to review the data that we have together, to share any stories or lessons learned, to learn together, and to plan course corrections. We also found that it's critical to capitalize off of the opportunity to demonstrate our value proposition and share stories during a crisis. Especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, we were able to seize an opportunity to demonstrate the value of organizational performance data and how critical it is to being able to make responsive decisions to meet community needs in a fast-changing and chaotic environment.
So as you can see, we are on this journey to become more data informed and data driven so that we can better serve our public and our park visitors in Seattle. Here are some information where you can contact us for additional questions and or suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you.